Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the second day of the Bucharest Minor EU Closed Qualifiers. We are here and ready to go. Of course, I am your ever faithful host and companion, KillerPigeon. And joining me, he's got his spreadsheets open, 15 monitors all around him. He's absorbed the stats. He's become keeper of the stats once more. It is, of course, Nahaz.
Good morning, and we've got a hell of a match for you. This is a rivalry matchup in a lot of ways. PPD and Seb have had some pretty well-publicized dust-ups on social media in the past. Pycat returns to face Peter, who was his captain last year. And these two teams, certainly in my mind, have shown the highest level of play in these qualifiers so far. I think OG, I haven't seen a team play quite as well at least in these minor qualifiers and maybe even in the major qualifiers as I saw OG play yesterday when Thompson pulled out his Arc Warden, rushed that Shadowblade Orchid, and just absolutely demolished. But NiP has that kind of play in them. We saw that at the last major.
Definitely both these teams chip on their shoulder, something to prove after they both failed to qualify for the major. They have been smoking all the competition so far in the EU region here.
Yeah, and I love the open by OG. I think Beastmaster is a very strong first pick in this patch. Once again, due to the reworks of the armor mechanics, the removal of the per nearby enemy hero armor bonus, towers are very fragile in this patch compared to the last one. Beastmaster allows you to mount that broad and sustained map pressure. You get very nice vision coming out from the Hawk. That's now a global cast ability, so maybe possibly a little bit harder to anticipate where that's going to be. On the other side, though, NiP, you guys all know my feelings about Rubik by now. I think this hero is amazing in this patch. I think Arcane Supremacy is borderline broken. And Sand King, of course, a great potential offlaner in the hands of 33.
Absolutely. Of course, talk about the little bit of drama as Pycat faced off against PPD. Let's not forget he's also facing off against that man you mentioned. 33 was a former teammate. And It's going to be interesting to see who they focus each of these drafts around. Because one thing I've noticed, especially about 33 with NiP, is he's not necessarily the primary focus anymore in these drafts, like he used to be on Optic.
Well, he never was. That was the great thing about 33 is going into a particular draft. He was an offlaner that was quite comfortable playing sacrificially. I mean, playing like that, he wasn't necessarily an elite offlaner, but he was very stable. He was going to give you, you could pick him a Beastmaster, say, and sack him in lane, and he was going to give you at least a decent game. Where he really shone was he had these games where all of a sudden you pick him Visage or Brute or whatnot, and he would just ruin a game. So he had that kind of explosive potential. This is very unusual. This is, I think, the earliest AM pick I have seen so far in this patch. Once again, I am not so sure about this whole AM versus Rubik matchup. This was very AM favorite in the past. I suppose with the active spell shield, AM still does have some counterplay for Rubik, but I think with the Arcane Supremacy and long duration lift, potentially even the long duration Hex as the game goes on, I think AM Rubik plays plenty well against this hero, depending on what point in the game we're talking.
Oh, absolutely. Of course, Anti-Mage did get that change where it's no longer passive. It has an active effect of about a 40-45% uptime. But yeah, you're talking about being up against Rubik that has basically more or less an insta-cast ability, right? It's not like it's got projectile that you can anticipate.
That's right. I mean, I think you do have some counterplay against the blink lift, but boy, you've got to be awfully fast. You've got to basically know it's coming. Now, again, that's where the Beastmaster plays in. You're generally going to have a vision advantage when you're playing around this hero. And even if the thing a lot of people don't appreciate about vision is that even if you don't have direct vision of the enemy team, it is a process of elimination that helps you anticipate the angles from what you're going to be initiated on. And that it makes you seem a little bit faster on the keyboard.
Absolutely. At this level of play, vision tends to be funneled and you read into what you can't see, not what you can. Right. It's not like you need to have observer wards all over the map and everyone under them. It's just you have to look towards objective. It's the same logic as when you get to high level play, people identify instead of going for generic ward spots, you'll see them place a ward behind a tower in anticipation of a push in a minute or two.
Yeah, and I like particularly with the first phase Anti-Mage pick, I like the ban also of the Thompson Monkey King. I think that's a very powerful duo. It does give you double melee cores at the top of your farm distribution, but they're both so mobile that it doesn't really matter. And I think there's a fair bit of underrated synergy there. In terms of the Luna and the Cherry bands for OG, yeah, I think it's completely standard. These are two heroes that have the similar scaling potential to Am, but push towers faster. And so that can give him real problems being up against an enemy carry that's also very hard scaling, but that's going to make him play on a smaller map.
Absolutely. And you did say an IP focusing out, for example, the Monkey King, which would just give this mid-game amp the OG kind of need. Right now, you're going to see the Beastmaster doing a lot of pushing, active in the mid-game. The Anti-Mage does need time to get online. So it'll be interesting to see if OG pivots more into this early push. They at least won't get the Pugner that Seb showed off. I think the word is showed off on yesterday.
Yeah, I really liked what he did on that hero, particularly in the last game that we cast together. He gave away a bunch of deaths, but he made so much space. No surprise here. And this, again, lots of flex value here, especially coming out as a third pick behind the Rubik Sand King. Sand King can be a 3, slide to that 4 position. Rubik can be mid. So this Dazzle is very credibly a core aura support when he's picked at this point in the draft. But immediately there we go. Now we see the PA.
I was wondering if it was going to come out. I was looking at OG going, do they do this or would it be too bold? Instead, NiP, they see the opportunity after getting the Dazzle, a huge boon to them pick up the Phantom Assassin.
Yeah, and I mean, PA she peaks so much earlier, or not even necessarily peaks, but her power spike comes so much earlier than AM. It's just with the way that she can farm the jungle incredibly efficiently with Blur, she can get that first item Deso up very quickly, get to the Deso and BKB before the 25-minute mark. And that's just going to be before, in any but the most favorable of circumstances, that's going to be before AM is online with his Battle Fury, Manta, and progress toward his third item. And especially when you see the potential of the other 3 heroes on board for NiP to be active around the map, this AM is probably not going to have the kind of free farm game.
Kunkka,
all right.
It's not a terrible way. It's definitely not a terrible way dealing with PA, especially in lane, because once you reach 6, you instantly have kill potential onto that squishy Agi carry.
Yeah, and I think it's also playing into the idea of OG that they know they're going to have to play in a 4-1 set a lot of the time in this game. At least for a chunk of time in the mid game before the AM is fully online, they're going to have to play with 4 heroes around the map. And I think you need more than the single target Roar of the Beastmaster to do that. You need a team fight foundation, and the Kunkka gives that to you. Now all of a sudden, the Coddle spells, the Illuminate and the Ignis, which need a little bit of time and protection to really take their full effect in team fights, the Kunkka is going to generate that for you. And don't underestimate, we say this over and over again, but I feel like a lot of viewers still don't underestimate the rum buff from Kunkka. That damage mitigation is huge.
It's actually one of the strongest things in the game. A lot of people's eyes, you got to keep in mind, you get in a team fight and you hit your whole team that boat buff. No one is an easy target. 50% damage reduction when maxed out. I believe it's 40, 45, then 50. It scales up. And I think it's either 10 or 12 seconds long, which when you get towards the mid-late game, that's kind of your average length of a team fight.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I know people will roll their eyes because I know the more sophisticated Dota viewing crowd already knows this, but I still will hear people say, you see a Kunkka and they'll say, oh, he missed the boat, when he hit 4 or 5 of his teammates with the rum buff. No, he didn't miss the boat, guys. You really do have to pay attention to that.
Absolutely. Of course, you do have a lot of lockdown. Kunkka start to catch on. They should always lead with the boat if they want to use it for the damage, the stun control. And when you actually think about it from that perspective, boat into a torrent is a lot of lockdown on a hero such as Phantom Assassin.
Okay, and now, man, look at this. I mean, so far, NiP really only have 3+1 if you look at their first 4 picks, and you've now got 2 BKB piercing disables, which are going to be able to lock down that Phantom Assassin in the mid game. I am now interested to see who the supports will be. Or very possible we're going to get a Jerax support Kunkka here.
It could be. It's been a while since we've seen that. I was wondering about whether they tried to pivot into a Beastmaster instead, because that has been resurfacing.
I think that's yet to be determined. I think the power of these 5 OG picks is that you're not going to make the decision. You're not going to finalize the decision until you see the last NiP hero. But regardless of who it is, if this is a BKB carrier, you can deal with 2 BKBs in the fights now. And it's just a matter of whatever hero Jerax ends up on, is he going to be able to have that impact from the 4 position on a traditional core?
Okay. they go for another Dazzle combo. The PA could use it well, but the Huskar can use it even better.
But I think that's, again, I think OG sort of were ready for that. I think that they're looking at this as, okay, whatever cheese hero or big BKB carry you pick up in that last position, we've now got the lockdown to play around it. And it's going to be Jerax Coddle, and we're going to see no tail on the Beastmaster. Interesting.
Seems more logical, I guess, when you consider that Cole is this hero that tends to farm a lot. So as a 5, he's never really made too much sense. You can run him there, but he's that kind of weird, greedy Wyvern 5 where it's not truly that selfless support that never gets gold.
No, it's fair enough. There's always a question about, when you're assigning heroes to your supports, are you going to assign based on farm distribution, or are you going to assign based on like who's comfortable on what heroes? Jerax is really good as a support Kunkka or a support Beastmaster, but in terms of farm distribution, him being your 4, you want to give him the more farm intensive support in this game, which is.
Oh, you cut out a moment there, Alan. Do you want to restart the call?
All right. Yeah, let's do that.
All right, there we are.
Right, there we go.
And
so going into this one, who have you got, buddy? I like OG's chances here, although I think Fada is going to have a pretty good game on this Huskar.
Honestly, I am going to be looking a lot at Topson and the space he can make. I think the Kunkka should give you enough for the mid game. I'm worried about NiP's ramp up. There's a lot of pressure, not just on this PA, but this Huskar to just dominate the lane completely. And in a Kunkka versus Huskar matchup, you can do decent damage, but now, don't forget, with the changes to Huskar no longer having that magical resistance, if they stick in mid, he's actually susceptible to this combo that comes out at 6 from the Kunkka.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I do think that they have kill threat on. They're going to have kill threat on both the PA and the Huskar. It's just going to. The question is going to be, can the 4 of OG hold out long enough for the AM to come fully online? And that's the question that we ask in most AM games.
Probably. I feel like they were. don't think I could have seen OG running this Kunkka in 4 at the moment though. It's weird. This hero, because of the way the lanes play out at the moment, doesn't feel that great as a 4 from like the way I've experimented with it. I think the biggest issue is X's long cooldown, level 1, really doesn't help you with your kill threat.
My camera is massively messed up here.
What are you doing? I see you over here. You see the trees? These are wonderful trees. Look right here.
Yeah, I just can't. I am having trouble moving my camera. I may need to disconnect and reconnect, or what did I do here?
You can quickly disconnect, reconnect. Don't worry. You'll still be allowed back in the game.
All right.
All right. Well, it's still on that. We can see the
lanes. Go ahead
and
narrate there, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have Jerax with Seb in this bot lane. The Kotl Batrider combos you can slow down to set up the Illuminates, and that is pretty effective against the Phantom Assassin. It looks like OG have already read the lanes correctly in that regard, as I don't really feel like you stick a PA against a Kunkka. It doesn't end well. Whereas the Huskar Kunkka matchup, you can pressure the Kunkka a little bit, but remember that he'll build in that double bracer, so he'll get the magical resistance from those, which might get some of the damage the Huskar puts out. And then when you look at the top, this is where it's going to be interesting. As you can see, No Tail already has 2 sentries to start to the 1 that 33 has. And while we're talking about that, in the bot lane, PBD strikes and they find a kill on a Seb. All right, too busy dissecting the lane to see that. And I just see a camera shaking back and forth from my co-caster. Are you right there, Alan?
Yes, something is going on here because I'm getting a trailing cursor. Is this because I was spectating another game before we... Oh, my goodness.
I'm unsure. Like, you could...
That is...
I think you can close, though, and come back in and reconnect.
Yeah, okay, just... Sorry about this, guys. Keep going, KP. You got this,
all right,
buddy.
So, yeah, this top lane's going to be interesting because that double sentry, and if No Tail gets control with the ball, he can harass the rest of these guys out pretty well. All Saxa can do is reduce the harassment they take with Fade Bolt, but I just feel like Beastmaster's going to have the advantage in these brawls. You can already see him actually just encircling Saxa. Trade him, folks. Yeah, and that's not a good Fade Bolt for him because now you don't stop Anti-Mage from farming necessarily. The Caustic Finale will keep him back a little bit because you took that level 1. You're just going to shove the lane towards the Anti-Mage so you can farm. Yeah, you can already see it, even on up. Meanwhile, on the mid lane, slightly built for tops and actually pressured Fada pretty well. It looks like he got stuck in the creep wave aggressive here. And that should be on tops and... I don't think he would have had the torrent originally. No, Fada just... I think he was trying to get low HP with the bonus spears. So he can have that attack speed. You know, that's a double-edged sword. If you aren't careful, you get a few points of Tidebringer, you can easily be ran through by this Kunkka. And as we said, now without that magic damage on your passive, suddenly it's not just the Tidebringer you have to play around against this Kunkka. No tail getting low. Can he get the deny? He's going to try, but the Fade Bolt's going to be there. Saxa finds a kill. Punishes No Tail's aggression. This is kind of the crux, actually. It's like, while you can aggress pretty well as the Beastmaster, it's not often you're going to be in a 2-on-2, as Anti-Mage will try and farm. But if you can separate them like this, you see again, you can easily pressure Saxa. He's got the lift coming off cooldown. He's going to have to use it here, actually. Being slowed, the Ghost even joining in.
All right, excellent. Looks like my Dota is finally fixed.
Fantastic.
Oh, man. NiP off to a hell of a start here as Saxa getting chased down a bit in the top lane.
Yeah, they have found 2 kills. They found 1 bot at the rune. So Seb has died so far, and they did strike against No Tail. I was just saying, like, this is one of the big issues. Like, when you run this anti-mage, you need to create space for him. And Beastmaster's a very good hero at this, but you can harass, you can't really kill.
Bot's awfully low here in the mid lane against the Kunkka, the Topson Kunkka.
Oh, he's going to go for the Tidebringer? No, he didn't actually wait for it. Topson wasn't sure he'd actually be in range anymore. His father did backstep enough.
Boy, but he has absolutely no fear here, playing behind the tier 1 tower.
He's being pretty risky here. He has got a TP to escape if need be. Cut his way in. This is a different approach to trying to kill Huskar, folks, is hiding behind his tier 1 tower. You can already see, like, he's just trying to strike out that torrent. Like, if you do that,
he is, but in the process, I mean, look at the CS differential. It's only growing. I like the aggression here by Topson. Farming the Radiant side neutral camp. Okay, this is something I have not seen before. As Seb here is under threat in the bottom lane, may go down.
Oh, they get him. The poison touch overwhelms him. They are seemingly just punishing the fact that right now, Jerax has no way to offset this aggression. Still no points in the blinding light. He'll finally get one.
Boy, I wondered what was going to happen in this Kunkka versus Huskar matchup, but the other 2 lanes are certainly this bottom lane going really well for NiP. Now, the AM is farming top, but they're not pressuring No Tail as he's able to get his pulls off uncontested.
Well, you say they're not pressuring him. They have killed him once, but yes, they aren't really interrupting this too much. They came over once, and this is kind of the issue each time, as I've been saying, is like Anti-Mage doesn't often want to come and fight you. He has to keep his eyes on the creep wave all times.
Yeah, you are going to see a renewed emphasis in pulling in this patch.
No, it's pretty strong.
Changes to the jungle.
Especially around the bot lane, where you have so many means. You can pull through to the small camp across. You can go through these trees here on both sides. It's very open. And Jerax, I mean, he's very open to the idea of dying here as he tanks a creep wave and the poison touch alongside it.
Wow, I mean, this Kunkka just has not come back to lane. I mean, he's furiously farming away in the jungle, but Huskar is completely uncontested. And remember, those denies give him extra gold. His Tread's armlet timing is going to be sick.
This is kind of what you see from the new passive, right? Is like every time the whole concept of Kunkka is attrition, right? You will them down, but you can never do that.
Sub down here getting low again from that poison touch.
Ace in return, though. The sticky napalm stacking up. They don't want to chase through. They're a little bit reluctant at the reset that could come out from PPD, who's now moving across to get the runes, and he picks it up. Jerax unable to get it. It's going to be 3 runes going the way of NiP as No Tail at least secures 1 for his team.
I mean, this game is just getting out of control for NiP. Topson walked all the way back to the fountain to regen, TP'd back just to kill 1 creep above his own shrine. I mean, he just can't stand in this lane at all. They have really no rotational threat at this point because of the way that the other lanes are going.
And also, we were talking about the threat he potentially has at 6 with that boat combo. But you actually look at it right now, Huskar's got 2 braces and the raindrops. He's unapproachable completely for this.
And what you're seeing top here is a direct consequence. Like NiP just feel exactly.
Look at this. Seb. Once again, they just respond. Jerax, he might be going down here now. Gonna be able to move away quick enough, and Seb barely escaping.
No, but this is the big difference, right? NiP can dive towers with complete impunity because of the way that the other lanes are going. DD Coddle, sorry, it's not gonna do much, but it like OG really can't respond to these rotations in the same way that NiP can. No Tail is going to try to do something here mid, but
I'm thinking about it, but how do you approach this once again? So much magic resistance.
Thompson's got 6-1 creep. That's the big deal, right? He's going to try and set up the combo, but Peter's already in position. He just got a point in grave.
Yeah, he's already prepped for this. Of course, we don't typically see this at level 4, but when you got a Huskar on your team, a man that likes to go sometimes a little too far, gotta play it safe just in case he needs that hard reset. Still going top so far. NiP is still farming. Does have an XP advantage here, but this is all eyes.
This is disaster. Butter. This is almost a 3K gold lead at 7 minutes. It just ticked back down to 2K from 3K. I mean, this is just absolute disaster from OG. I mean, NiP can take this mid-tier 1 tower.
Pretty uncontested. You can already see No-Tail even getting to the jungle a little bit. They're identifying they need everyone farming because no one's farming lanes. You got to try and get more value across the team versus flooding it into one person. And No-Tail's been found here. Fada's going to chase across with a life break. Beastmaster, well, he's very gone.
Yeah, that shrine's down.
Him on the mid. They try to make a move. They can't find anyone here that supports. They say, protect us, Daddy Fada. The Huskar is big and scary at this point. Seb, this is not the move right now. Poison touch on him with a burn speed as well.
They got AM top here too, potentially. Oh my gosh.
He'll back away. But Seb looking to go back in here. There's a life break across. He's been slowed up. And, whoa, okay. PC actually froze for a moment there. Fada still standing his ground though. A lot of heroes here unable to deal with him. He actually bursts through him. Going to get him low. He's going to try and turn him on life break. He won't get the kill, but they get a big one. 30 seconds on the sideline. And, well, the king of fighting is dead.
Yeah, they need that. They needed that so badly. I thought Huskar with that 40 to 50 HP regen from the multiple bracers was going to be, and the treads was going to be able to live through that. But OG bringing 4 heroes, just enough burst damage. Thompson Pycat rotating down to the bottom lane here.
All right, I identified our problem. Good old Steam in the background has started downloads. Folks, that should fix all the issues. We're good to go now.
Oh, gosh.
I turn that off every time, and every time Steam updates. I mean, no, Valve products. Tough. Guys, it's all good. Chonking issues resolved. We're here.
Yeah, huge sequence for OG, though, because not only are they able to get a kill on that Huskar, but they save their own tower, and their tier 1 mid tower is still 60% health.
I'm not sure they can save Jerax, though. The blind of light timing ace jumps just afterwards. Jerax trying to run away, but they'll find him. Seb, he knows they're here, but he has no backup to try and approach this.
It's fine, though. Honestly, at this point, for OG, you're trying to stop the bleeding. And giving up a coddle kill is like... it's one of the best things that could happen in terms of what you're giving up to NiP.
You just shrug, go, it could be worse. It very much could. It's all about making sure Animage doesn't die at this point.
Yeah, well, not only Animage doesn't die, but make sure Animage isn't playing on, like, 30% of the map by the time he's got his Battle Fury online. They're protecting their towers, which is really the key at this point for OG.
Absolutely. You can actually just see the managing to pressure Animage just with a +5 alone as PPD is down here. They're going to ping.
It's the power of Dazzle right now.
Well, they want to punish it. There's a wraparound from Seb, but he's still not level 6. And PPD read this perfectly because they had a ward in the river.
Here comes Big Daddy Huskar, though, bottom, with Rubik also smoked up. This is AM just blinked!
No, a little bit of trouble for him. He's coming cooldown soon, the life break across, and it looks like Pycat's going to go down. The Mana Void does nothing. PPD going to keep on running. Shallow Grave will protect. And Seb's in a lot of trouble here. He already used the flame break. He won't be able to get the kill. Can Fada get close enough to the life break? It's coming off cooldown now. He is just out of range.
Oh, but Seb, I don't know. Turning around might have cost him there. But yeah, good awareness there from Seb.
And then just a little cherry on top.
I mean, that's like Christmas, though. When your Huskar smoked up with a Rubik next to you, and the AM just blinks into the both of you. That's just, hello.
3 kills for the Huskar, and as a result of those 2 kills, NiP now up to a 5k net worth lead. Make that 6 as it just strikes through. And this time they should be coming for the mid tower. They don't really have to wait. But do they want to go bot instead? They found a target here. The drag back, Dazzle in trouble, will go down. Saxa cannot protect his fellow support.
Yeah, and you get the AM in on that kill.
That's the biggest deal.
Anything that contributes to his progression right now is so key for OG. You're going to give up this top tier 1 tower. That's not necessarily bad.
Meanwhile, Thompson's doing a decent job of recovering the jungle. He's actually the wealthiest member of the OG lineup with the triple bracer build. Kind of weird watching Kunkka's not build phase anymore because it changed.
Yeah, you can afford to give up one of this top triangle of towers as dire at this point, especially the way the game is going. You're probably going to have to at least mount a token defense of this next one, though.
Yeah, you can already see the tier 1 mid. 33 zones amount behind.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the point where NiP will just start to flip across the map, tower after tower, until they got the arm up. And at that stage, then they can just look towards Roche.
And I like 33 going the Tranquils and the 3 bracers before his blink in this game. His team is so far ahead that he can just passively zone people out by standing there. And that tank ability just makes it so they don't really want to go on him with this Kunkka combo or any of the other tools they have available. I mean, if Batrider grabs him with 3 bracers and Tranquil, it's just like, okay, that's fine.
Absolutely. He's pretty tanky at the stage.
Oh, the roar used down here on Dazzle.
It's kind of do it, though.
Not damage, though, necessarily.
Lasso's coming off cooldown soon, but the Shallow Grave is out. PPD just buying a little bit of time before he goes down, but as a result of that, they'll be able to give kill over to Animage. They will not find the bonus kill into the Rubik, though. He does manage to back away in time. This should set up for a push on the tier 1 tower.
Yeah, and the nice thing is, right, you use the roar, but that's your 5-position Beastmaster. You're still holding on to your lasso on the 3-position Batrider.
Did indeed manage to save it. He'll back away. He's not shown on the map, so they might be a little bit reluctant to defend this, but Saxer alone can slow things down with the Fade Bolts. They need to make a move somewhere, and this might be the one if Ace hangs around, but so far, well, NiP, they've been reading the map movements perfectly.
Yeah. Just something really quick to point out. All of the best pro Batriders play in vision less than 50% of the time. That's something you can watch your own replays and try and pick apart. If you're showing needlessly as Batrider, you're really crippling the potential of your own hero. OG might try and mount a defense here in their own jungle. They can't cede total control of this area of the map. They know that they have to do something to try and pressure NiP before they can take this top tier 2. Although it's so hard with where the game is right now. It
really is. It's interesting you bring up that off-map threat. Is like you have got this Kunkka who's never showing, and this is not OG going, the threat will keep them at bay. This is just him farming, and they know it. This is why NiP is playing so freely, is they move and weave in and out of OG's jungle, and there's no price ever paid for.
Absolutely.
That's kind of the price of having an anti-mage more than anything, is if you don't come out of the lanes ahead, he kind of becomes a burden, and you're just waiting until he finally can do something.
All right, interesting 3-hero rotation by OG bottom. Maybe going to pick off Saxa and try and get a little bit of a combo here with their taking of the bottom tier 1 tower, but he
gets away with a stolen blink. They didn't want to commit a boat for a Rubik kill, and as a result, they will get no kills.
Yeah, and they might, and as a result, Seb might be going down here top to the epicenter combo.
No, they're going to look from here, but there's Ignis Fast coming up for Jarek's. Nice placement there. Blind Light pushes 33 back in. Meanwhile, Zeb, though, it's too late. He just ticks out to the burns. All the while, poor little Kunkka just being teased in the river as he's trying to get his hands on a DD that it was to never be.
Yeah, and that pickoff of Seb just seals the fate of this top tier 1 tower, and Animage now, even with the Battle Fury coming online and 1,000 gold or so, he's going to be hurting.
Indeed, he's going to probably need another 2 minutes, at least at this rate. It's not going to be a quick Battle Fury timing, and by the time you do have it up, you're probably going to lose another tower. And I wouldn't be surprised, actually, with the armlet now up on Fada, if they look towards Roche soon on the side of NiP.
I had some question coming into this game. I wasn't sure with the reworks to Husker whether he would win the lane against Kunkka quite as hard in this patch, but if anything, it might even be a little harder. I mean, that mid lane has completely defined this game.
Well, it's like I was saying, it's the attritional factor, right? It's like you always, as a Kunkka, the whole idea is I will eventually force them out because of Tidebringer. But especially early on, you can't keep consistent pressure up because of the large cooldown that Tidebringer has.
Well, and just with OG, I mean, this OG team is obviously really, really good, even without Ana. I mean, they won TI, but the question is going to be with Ana's departure is, can they still win games when the enemy team shuts down Thompson? Now, this game is not necessarily a referendum on that because obviously Topson just got completely taken out of the game. But it is still a question from them going forward. Are they going to have that huge secondary playmaker in Pycat or one of the other players stepping up?
They do at least have a big iron that might help with this. Topson has finished up the Heaven's Halberd now.
The Halberd, yeah. You absolutely have to have that against this Husker.
At the same time, will you have a secondary builder? Because there is a PA to worry about as well. And that Phantom Assassin, well, on the way in now. That Desolator is coming.
Fodden is seriously thinking about just taking this Roche by himself.
He can. If he needs the help of Ace, Ace can come across now. He's got the Desolator. It would speed things up.
Ooh. OG has a good inkling this is going on, though. And Fodden is going to be pretty low on health if they initiate soon. And that passive
heal up. Plus having a Dazzle. They actually have to find the Dazzle pick off first. I don't think they burst the Huskar quick enough.
Yeah, oh, there's no doubt.
Seb still feeling dirt poor here. Pretty deep, in fact. Not able to make a quick play either from this type of location because he doesn't have that Blink Dagger. And he's nowhere near it.
Yeah, that's... And you have to tank up a little bit as Seb, so you can't criticize him for building some of these other items before Blink, but... Yeah, NiP, smoke up.
On the move.
Scan whiffs, though, so I think they're just going to settle for a push.
They might still look for a kill. They invade this jungle, and actually, you can see they got wars down. They see it. See everything happening here.
It's been too long, though. OG's...
It's more that Topson's too hard to kill. Like, look at him right now, 3.2k. That's a pretty big chunk of meat to try and just gnaw into. Although these ones might be a little bit more squishy. No tails up here. Seb has been off map for a long time now. As we said, as you should be.
I'm a little bit... I'm just surprised that NiP didn't transition out of that move a little quicker. It seemed pretty clear that OG read it.
They're going on Kunkka here.
Well, that said...
They'll just go for the TP away as they had to actually initiate with the lift.
And that was your point about Kunkka being so beefy. I mean, he was at 60% health there still.
He barely felt the life break. Of course, that magic resistance adding up pretty nicely from the triple bracer build.
Oh, yeah, and he's already got his overaxe toward his BKB. So Topson, you know, he's staying in the game here. He's the most farmed hero on the map.
Yeah, when they stay in the game, I mean, to come back like this and be the most farmed hero, it's insane.
I mean, that's actually ridiculous. OG in the process of evading a lot of these NiP moves, I mean, the AM is still farming. He got his Battle Fury up and making progress toward that Manta style. Hey, OG has done a damn good job of recovering here.
Like, they've got gold, they've got XP. I mean, we were worried, and quite rightly so, when he had to surrender the lane.
And we still are. Let's make that clear, okay? They are not out of the woods yet, but OG I really love what they've done in the last few minutes just to give themselves a chance in this game.
Big difference we see between these tier 1, tier 3. I hate using the term tiers, but you know, these top teams in Dota versus these upcoming teams is knowing when to cut your losses. And it's really paid off for OG here. And now the boat coming in with his advantage. The combo is good.
The boat!
They'll be able to find him. Shallow Grave actually has to go out in the PA now. Stunned up. Huskar. Roach joins in as well. Fodden a little bit trouble. Primal Roar comes out. They don't have a Shallow Grave anymore. Can they get him? The disarm's going to be there. Lasso, drags and Dazzle. Now moving across the life break. Disarm though. Fodden can't attack. BBD is going to go down. And it looks like Fodden's in a little bit of trouble. Going to move across. Pyro Strike through. They need to find tap. They'll find it to get him. They interrupt the Roach perfectly. OG. The combination play in the pit.
I am sitting here and my jaw is on the floor. That was absolutely the perfectly timed initiation there by OG, catching 3 men in the pit in the torrent. Nicely placed Coddle ult in the middle of it all going off, extending that AoE stun. Man, oh man, even Seb coming in with the Bat Rider, lassoing the Dazzle back into the pit. OG just did everything right in that fight, and they now are on nearly even footing in this game.
They are.
NiP going to try and get the revenge here.
Yeah, but 33 is going to be dragged back to try and get the pit on the backside. Ace does pick off Seb. The boat coming in again on a 33. He has no mana left though, and held in the spot. Top's going to try and run him down. Shallow Grave is there. Disarm comes out on Ace. They now have to do Shallow Grave for him. He's in trouble. Going to try and move away on the nose tail, but he's still in range of this on the back foot. 33 gets found. His Pyjamas makes no pop. Can they do anything? They lose both the support and the off-lane Bat Rider. Topson decides he's TP out, but they found him. 33's buyback pays off.
disarmed by the inner fire there as Husker engages back into that fight. Daddy's home.
And that is the difference here, is despite OG's recovering, how well they're doing, the one crux is your anti-mage can only contribute so much in these fights still.
Well, but look, the Aegis advantage is significant. But look at the net worth lead, less than 1K. AM has his Battle Fury, a pretty darn, making good progress toward his Manta. You still have to feel like that sequence is a net win if you're OG. Now, the question is still going to be surviving the next couple of fights, but NiP are satisfied, at least for now, to fall back and farm.
Absolutely, and when you come to that next Roche engagement, well, that time around, there'll be a huge boon for OG, because next time they'll have the Vlads ready on No Tail, you'll have another big item on this anti-mage so you can finally start fighting, and then Kunkka will have a completed BKB, and it will matter.
Yeah, and on the other side, too, when you talk about the farming progression of OG, where their two cores are still making excellent progression. They're the two most farm heroes in the game. The Ace PA, because of all the plays that NiP was trying to run on the dire side of the map, he's not that farmed. He's still quite a distance from that BKB, that Deso BKB that PAs can make such a difference with, an OG anticipating this rotation from NiP as well.
The other difference is, of course, when you are amplifying your physical damage, this BKB pickup from Ace, it's like, you need it, but you're not dealing with the real problem in the next few minutes. And actually, right now, they can't deal with any problems. They can't find anything at all as they try and look for a pick-off there.
Yeah, that Beastmaster, just enough movement speed there, and NiP doesn't have quite enough information on where the rest of the OG heroes are.
They can at least move into this tier 1, though, and OG unlikely to invest in a defense, as this is a pretty worthless tower. I say worthless. It's got some gold in it, but other than that, like strategic value, not really there. They do force 33 away, as they notice in the mid lane. The tier 1 will be denied. But that opens up the map a little more for anti-mage to aggressively farm like this.
Exactly. And it's just in so many of these games, I'm going to get used to it eventually, but this 20% neutral gold buff change, it's very significant. It just, as the team that's behind, it just gives you, as the team that's ahead, rather, it just gives you that much less time to be making these moves on the enemy side of the map if you're not finding the kills and turning them into objectives.
They're trying.
These flash farming heroes like AM and Kunkka are going to catch up that much faster. The dire scan does hit, so they spot out NiP making a move on this bottom tier 2 tower.
Jarek, though, he's in a little bit of trouble. The crit comes out. The Primal Roar, barely alive. The Blinding Light already used, and he'll be ran down by the Dazzle. If only it hadn't been a crit.
By No Tail.
Anything but a crit.
AM is looking to get himself a trade here on the Radiant tier 2 top.
He is, and he's already going to get a head start, as the creep wave isn't here for NiP yet. The glyph does come out first from the Radiant side. And look at this. Batrider is stationed here. And anti-mage could keep pushing if he wants to, but they're reluctant.
No, I think discretion's a better part of Valor right there. An AM kill still really does set you back quite a bit. But as they get vision of all of the NiP heroes pushing this tier 2, they are going to take the trade.
One of the huge values.
They might kill the tower first.
It's one of the huge values, though, of the Beastmaster pick, of course. Those Hawks just gives you full vision on what's going on around these fights. And now speaking of Beastmaster, he's jumped on here. No Tail. So much trouble. Ace just runs him down.
That's worth, except for the fact that, No Tail's immediately going to buy back, understanding that NiP can easily turn this into a high ground push.
Almost got his hands on Jarek's there. Cole will be able to force stuff away in time. 33 pretty deep. The Sandstorm tops and arriving now. Now you need to be a little bit careful. Ace doesn't have his BKB still. Torrent does get mistimed with the X, so they'll just back off here on the side of NiP. Nothing forcing them to commit, because back in their base. Anti-mage going in. Rupert's been found. Mana Void has been used. It's going to be low. Saxon will be finished up. And Pycat will move away. As they try and force people back, they don't. They hang around. Pops from the BKB coming through. Epicenter is completely flopped from 33 and stuck here, staring into the Will-O-Wisp. The Primal Roar is there as well. Can they do enough damage on 33 is the question. Torrent control on the Phantom Assassin's good. Down to half HP, but they have the Charlotte Grey. Do they want to commit? Thompson wants to go in. Disarms there. Blinding Light to make sure that you definitely can't attack anyone. Morrow Strike, 33. He's in trouble. They see him with a sentry. Ace running away from Pyke out on the back foot. Zanking in trouble here. He hasn't got any spells. He will with a blink away. They move forward. Seb still chasing here. On the other side, though, Ace trying to fight back with Shallow Grave.
He still might die.
He's gone. No way he fights up against that. It's not like he has life steal. Back in the base, 33. He buys some time, but he doesn't buy it in a way that allows any of his cores to escape.
God, they need this BKB on the Ace PA in the worst possible way. You gotta wonder whether or not they should have tried to break off there, go back and farm. OG were very good at they showed just a little bit of hesitation there on the disengage, and OG just pounced. But man, the PA, the BKB on PA makes that a completely different fight. If they have that, I think Ace just rolls and kills everybody.
And I really want to actually commend Thompson's iron build. Like, we see him in Thompson training, like your fanboys, whatever, right? He done the right move in the Arc Warden game. He's doing the fantastic move here because we see so many of these big crit kunkers. Instead, disarm, BKB, and then the AC. You're just giving auras and buffs to other people. And Huskar, he's in a little bit of trouble. Disarm's going to come out in the 2. No tail. Gets found as Ace does respawn. And Seb will walk away.
Yeah. No tail being the sacrificial boar here. That's absolutely fine if they can get away with just that kill. Thompson in a little bit of a bad position here.
He has a BKB, and there we go for TP. The blind light covers his escape.
And they can do nothing about that.
And they won't even get the DD in the river. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, the push continues as Pycat finds another tower.
Yeah, and meanwhile, I mean, look at the economy advantage on the side of OG. They have played themselves back into a lead in this game. They're able to pressure towers on the other side of the map. You know, this NiP lineup's still very strong, but the delay in this PA BKB, she's still not entirely there.
And there's a huge ramp up now, and Pycat's split push as well, by the way. He just reached 20. He's got the blink cooldown. Just look at how quickly he flash farms. It's getting absurd. I don't know how you're going to keep up with him. NiP, they're on the clock now.
Oh, they absolutely are, and have been for a while. And there's got to be the sense of urgency on that side where I think Ace has to buy out for his BKB, and they really have to force the issue here. Okay. Now, that said, you're going to have a window to contest this next Roshan.
That's the thing. Actually, like, OG can fight you here. That's the thing, though. Like, at this Rosh, compared to the last one, OG took a great fight, but they were always weaker at that Rosh engagement after the initial burst.
Ace just bought out for his BKB, though, and I still think they are, despite the net worth advantage going on in OG's favor, I still think they are very, very strong here on the side of NiP.
Oh, absolutely. PA, one of the biggest mid-game spikes.
Oh, no. Oh, my lord. Pycat with his butterfly already. He's even, 17, of course, 17K net worth. He's even 18K. He's even a little bit ahead of where I thought he would be. And
going for the BKB next. Make sure he can't get disarmed or stunned up. Not a bad choice here. Afterwards, maybe into the Abyssal. Or you could go for the heart.
Their window is absolutely from now until AM finishes BKB. If he finishes that, like, you have nothing on the side of NiP that deals with the BKB. Absolutely nothing. We saw that with Kunkka.
You might get a chance to try and fight them before they get that BKB, because OG are looking for a fight now. The last who comes in, Huskar dragged in, the boat already on his way. BKB out from Ace. He will shred through no tail. Now this time out, the Thompson will use his own BKB. He'll go for the TP away. They accept that that's a lost cause, and Seb, though they found him, he can't get up the high ground. The lift holds him in place for so long as he gets ran down, and they did even steal the X, which means they can snowball and find additional kills. Yeah, absolutely. And this is what I was saying. I don't know whether OG wasn't quite sure, because that was technically the BKB reveal, although you have to wonder whether just they would understand based on the timing that he'd have it by then. But this PA with Deso and BKB can fight against other core heroes that are much more farmed at this point in the game. Absolutely. The good news for OG, of course, is they didn't lose the big two, the anti-mage or the Kunkka. Both able to escape alive, but not what OG was looking for. But this buys NiP enough time definitively where, okay, the dire scan hits, so they are going to know that Peter's in this area of the map. It's not that significant right now, though. I think NiP has now more than enough time to wait until the next Rosh. If they get the Aegis and Cheese there, they still have a window where they can go in and win the game. If they don't do some serious damage to the dire base in this next Rosh cycle, though, I think OG's got this. And it's frustration for NiP because they keep trying to get control of these waves, but between the anti-mage and the Keeper of the Light, everything is always pushing in. No, I mean, if you watch some of the NA playoffs last night, I mean, Ritsu was doing just a masterful job on an anti-mage, completely controlling the map by cutting waves in 2 and even 3 lanes at the same time. And that kind of play, you know, it makes this hero just a presence in more than just flash farming. already see the Hawks prepped by OG in the pit. This Animage continues to farm. We'll get rid of this shrine, which is going to be important because Roche is up in 15 seconds. They're going to know exactly when it is. NiP will get an inclination eventually, but the question is, how quickly can this Animage melt through Roche?
Yeah, and it's a nice... Remember now that with the change, the AC aura is no longer... It is canceled, sorry, by BKB.
It is indeed,
so
but you have an Animage.
Worrying about his armor when his BKB's up.
Oh, they caught out. Thompson is now right. Can they do enough though? The Primal Roar out into the PA in time. BKB from Thompson, both coming in. Will stun up. The Cooker trying to move away. Can he actually get in? Lasso drags back onto the PA. The BKBs ran out, but they're in full retreat. They can't do anything here. They're going to leave Kunka behind. Or are they? Forced off, trying to get him away. Torrent disarm comes out. Thompson is far too tanky here.
I mean, they're just tickling him at this point.
It's the boat buff. He actually needs a TP away to the poison touch. It's going to be close. He'll be fine, but barely. Now they need to retreat on the side of NiP. Boat's on cooldown, but it's not a big cooldown. It's up in 10 seconds now. The drums come out. They're in full retreat. Because side of OG want to go again. Disarms down to Fada. There's the life break across on Jarek, but now he's blinded as well. Mana Void using the back foot. Epicenter being charged up. Animage in trouble. Pycat does blink away. He's got the blink coming off cooldown soon, but he has no mana to work with. They burn him out. The Mana Void used against him does almost kill him off, but he will be able to blink away. As the Chakra magic is there from Jarek's. Yules, they're going to find Seb again. Sacrificial lamb, usually. He's got the gem. He can't afford to give this up. Forced stuff to try and escape, but he can't. The lift, the Burrow strike, it's all there. And now...
Oh, and no buyback. That gives up Roche. Oh, gosh. Do they realize that Seb has no buyback?
They quite possibly should. And it'll be very obvious the moment they go into that pit. The problem is they risk getting tanked... Well, getting jumped through a boat, shall we say. Ace with the BKB. That's a pretty early one as well. The Primal Roar. It's a completely wasted BKB charge. Disarm coming out. Life break across. Jarek, the blind light timed pretty nicely, but they can still run him down when they eventually stop missing. Moving through. 33. Sees no tail. Fire strike connects. No one's close enough, though. 33 needs to be careful here, actually, because the rotation. Pycat wants to go in. The Sandstorm's down. They don't have detection for this.
Yeah, they did force the TP by Fata
there it
in
is.
the bottom lane.
33. They get him.
Yeah, outmaneuvered.
As you say, I mean, they see Fada bot, and Pycat strikes right away. And look at this move. He goes straight to the Roche pit.
This is really good by Thompson if they manage to get this, because he TP'd out what looked like a little bit early. They thought I think NiP thought that he was going to continue to push all the way to the steps of the Dire base. Fada TPing back in anticipation of that, but Thompson was already gone. He's able to rotate into that move in the Dire jungle, and they're going to put serious pressure on the Roche pit. It is down
so quickly, and I'm going to give so much credit to Pycat. We talk about Thompson so much, but between the timing when he took out that shrine, his movements around these fights, and knowing when to engage and when to disengage.
I'm just an idiot, by the way. I was saying Thompson that whole time on that Pycat. He was playing the Animage. I'm really dumb.
Oh,
okay,
right.
Sorry, chat.
Well, now speaking of Pycat, he's on the wrong side of the fight. We praise him, but now he's left his team behind. Seb's going to go down. The disarm is there on Huskar, though. Jason on a no-tail. Ace will think twice as their BKBs run out. Pycat controlled up on the back foot, but now the Will-O-Wisp is down. Jarek's on point with this, 33. He can't escape, though. He's trying to get out Fire Strike used just to try and run away. There's Shallow Grave there, but when he comes down, can he move? Primal Roar onto Ace. He can't get away. They don't have the Shallow Grave anymore. Now chasing for PBD. He might be going down. Pycat trying to move through. The disarm comes out. Life break across down to half HP. Fada trying to fight up against this. They're going to try and turn around. The Fire Strike connects on the 2. Can they give it the animation? Yes, they get it down. Thompson needs the cheese. Going to stand his ground. Both coming through. They're going to get both buff up. Fada forced to fight. Disarm, he can't. Shallow Grave. He just stands there, though, realizing he can't attack onto them. On the back foot, Torrent coming through. Stolen boat going in. Thompson does dodge it. Fire Strike on the side. Connects on the 2. Jarek's going to push Fada away. Blinded once more. No tail trying to kite him out. And Thompson trying to move across. As Pycat still chasing the look of his Saxa. Saxa jukes him out and steals the blink. Will escape on the side, though. Fada left behind. He tries to buy as much time as he can. But will he go down is the question. As he has got that armlet, have they got the damage? Animage is now here. It looks like this might be the end for him as he just gets ran straight through. And the Anti-Mage claims victory for his team in that fight.
Thompson with the X there just in time.
Perfectly placed. And I got to give credit to Saxa. He bought as much time as possible there with the Anti-Mage. Balls of steel, but in the end, there's just too much control for this Huskar pick.
Well, there's too much control for the Huskar pick, and again, because the PA took so long to get to that BKB, she's nowhere near her next item. You know, the minute her BKB is down in these fights, she's very, very squishy. I mean, she can go on tops and it just tickles.
Well, they're going on tops, and now the buyback from Huskar going to chase through him. He has the boat, though. He can throw it out whenever he wants. Disarm onto the PA, who still has the BKB. Will force it out of her there. She's going to keep on chasing through. They're looking for a kill in the Jerax, but this is a lot committed to try and find a Cottle kill, and he's going to TP out. No! Oh. So close. The forest strike just in time. But that's a consolation prize. For your buyback on a Huskar, you get the POS 4, and that is it.
Yeah, and you can see the economy damage. 15K now on the side of OG, and they are leaving behind these supports. OG and Jerax, No-Tail and Jerax. English, God,
I mean,
have
you're
been
not
the
wrong.
Sacrificial lambs in so many of these engagements, but that's absolutely fine. Goodness gracious.
You're not wrong. They are all OG members.
I mean, I know, like, it is absolutely ridiculous. Like, I know all of these guys.
You know what it is?
Really
you are just speechless from the amazing builds and amazing plays, the way that OG is juggling these fights now. That's what it is.
Let's go with that hint. And
also, things are going to get rough for NiP with these talents starting to come online. You look at Thompson, he's almost 25. And
well, that's the tool, though, you talk about Thompson, that NiP has needed all along to deal with this. The MKB coming out from Huskar here, I think that's going to allow them. Thompson is no longer going to feel functionally immortal in most of these fights. But again, the Huskar alone, it's so easy now to focus on him, especially if the MKB's down. Double MKBs in the next fight for NiP.
They are gonna need it here. Their primary focus has to be a way of eliminating this anti-mage. He does at least not have an Aegis anymore. But, well, actually, you can see now he's gonna start building that Abyssal Blade. He will get a decent amount of health out of that. It's a little bit of a scary boy at that stage. Around 2k HP, all that magic resistance. He did go for the Mana Void cooldown talent, as we usually see. I feel like we see this more than we see the magic resistance. Especially if you're going to build a BKB, it seems very futile.
And OG actually know that they can afford to be fairly conservative here, right? I mean, they've got the double MKB gives NiP a bit of a power spike, but NiP has to play in vision. The lanes are their side of the map, so they're gonna OG are gonna have plenty of time to know about this. You know, they can afford to be patient now and take the fights on their own terms.
NiP, they're feeling a little bit impatient. They're prepping for a fight here, but you can already see OG stacking around Pycat as they know that's the one they can't afford to ever lose. Especially considering how much gold he'd give up at this stage. He's almost up to... At this rate, you give it like another 2-3 minutes to have 30k net worth. He's a very rich boy.
Yeah. He is, and, you know, ordinarily one of the bright spots that we'd start talking about is that AM is at his peak right now. But it doesn't feel like, you know, the Huskar is going to fall off just natively into the late game, and this PA has not been able to sustain the kind of farm on her side of the map that she's going to be able to scale, get close to this anti-mage anytime soon.
Yeah, this is always a catch for anti-mage as he gets at least an item ahead of his opponents and overwhelms them, and he is definitely ahead of his opponents in the core rolls on the other side.
Right,
Look, this move
he's just going to walk right up the fight.
Seb trying to move in, BKB out from Ace, BKB used by Pycat. They need to get rid of Dazzle first and they identify it. All of a sudden, NiP, do they want to fight? I wouldn't advise it here, but they're going to chase through 33. The buyback comes out in PPD. They're going to keep chasing 33. Forest straight down the low ground. There's another blink with the cooldown. They don't want to catch through. There's the boat. BKB gets forced out from Thompson. Disarm does go out onto the Huskar in the meantime. Fighter holding on his BKB as long as he can. How can they do enough? Thompson needs to be careful. Primer on the back foot onto the Dazzle. They need to get damage. They can't. They get shredded through as the PA gets rid of the V-Smart. Thompson getting low. He might be going down here. He's going to tick out to the burns. Gets caught, in fact, by the inner fire. And on the back foot, Anti-Mage continue to chase, but can he do enough? Disarm, Primer Roar that was stolen. Anti-Mage in trouble, forced up to try and get him away. Fire strike through. They've got him. Pycat down. Fight. And now the epicenter of the Celebrate as they move across, looking for the kill of Set. He's been left behind. He's got the Ghost Scepter, but he'll be slowed by the dagger still. And he knows he's not leaving this one. At least not alive.
Brilliant fight on the side of NiP, and OG maybe underestimating slightly the power spike that those double MKBs were going to provide. Nice engagement there as you know, that fight started with Pycat sort of seeing Fata and going, I don't know about this. And the engagement was happening above them.
And I really like what I'm looking at here is the big thing that I was waiting to see is Kunkka getting that level 25 boat talent. He didn't go for it, and you saw the effects. As soon as the boat buff ran out, he's in trouble. I don't disagree with him taking the Tiebringer talent, because I see what he's doing here. With the AC plus now into the Daedalus, his contribution in terms of physical damage this fight is insane. But this doesn't mean that you have to finish the fight so quickly, and NiP are very good at playing you out.
Yeah, it's that and the fact that OG, I imagine, thought that they were going to just be able to have complete lane control and finish this game methodically.
Now things are getting a little bit
It's also
out of
the split push potential, but man, NiP go through buildings fast. This is scary.
They may leave the range racks behind, but the melee racks is the damage they were looking for. They're going to be composed about this. They know the anti-mage likely has buyback, and if you push too hard,
lots of respect shown to the anti-mage and Kunker respawns there.
I have to
pinging the Roche pit, but we're still a little ways off, guys.
They might find Kunker. He's TPing out Thompson. Mistakes may be made here. They're going to move in. BKB gets Mortis Armors there. And Ace will just TP away, but he won't be able to do the Primal Roar and the Lasso just to ensure the kill to the PA because they know Roche is coming up soon as well. Going through looking for more, but they won't find it.
So greedy of NiP to go for that kill there in the dire jungle.
Yeah, next to a shrine when you know they're going to be coming up their base. I mean, this is the typical behavior. Once you respawn, everyone's up, and you're still ahead like this, you tend to just rush out of the base and look for the pick-off on the retreat.
I mean, it's hard, right? We may not be being completely fair to the side of NiP because you know that you're getting outscaled by this lineup of OG. Ace is not going to just single-handedly farm you back into this game, and your Husker is going to fall off. So there is the impetus on you to make a play, and a pick-off of Thompson there when he just respawned would be huge. But that's still awfully optimistic. You have to be, like you said, they know what's going on with Roshan. They know that OG is going to be forming up to at least control that part of the map, if not actively just kill the Roche right when it spawns. So that's a very optimistic kill attempt.
I do like how NiP tends to read around the Roshanara pretty well. Because of this Beastmaster pick, OG know exactly when it's happening. So what you wait to see is for OG to just stop pushing with the anti-mage and for Colt to not be illuminating waves. As soon as that happens, you know it's up. So NiP, they can react very quickly to the Roshans as we've seen. They're going to need to as well, because this one is going to be crucial. You're already a lane down, you're missing a second tier 3 tower. If NiP loses a fight around that Roche pit, or they give over the Aegis for free, they could easily lose their entire base.
Yeah, it's a game of positioning and map control at this point, because a 6K net worth lead for OG at this stage of the game is not significant, especially when you've got heroes like PA and like Husker that just, they do a lot with this gold. They don't need to be 6-slotted to be very fearsome in these fights. I like this Vlad's pickup though by the Sand King. That's even at this what a lot of people would say the later stages, right? It's 15% bonus attack damage. Scales by percentage.
They need it on their side. You can actually see Ace when he goes in these fights is all in. He'll have the Shallow Grave to back him up. He has no way to heal up right now.
Yeah. And just a little bit to offset the minus armor of the AC coming off the cut.
There you go, 33. He actually pings straight away. He says, Roche, they're going. The problem is, it's so fast. You can't stop this at all.
Now you got to worry about double coddle ult, double lasso.
Yes. Double Primal Roar. There's so many options available to them. And it should also be pointed out about this Primal Roaring Man Beastmaster. They've prioritized a lot of XP on him because they want that 25 talent. Get that in a beast attack speed, and you just shred through their team.
Yeah. I mean, Husker's, PA's BKB is long since down to 5 seconds. Husker still has 7 seconds left, but this double coddle ult, I mean, if you don't have the heroes in position to deal with it, it's going to lock down both of your cores.
Well, that's always been the focus here for OG, though. This lockdown factor to make sure no matter how many items you chunk onto this PA on this Husker, doesn't matter. Husker going in tops with the BKB is going to be fine. The boat comes through straight away without hesitation. 33, linger around the sandstone, blinks up to the high ground. His armor's there, but on the back foot going in with the Abyssal. Sacks already gone to the Animate. Looking for more. BKB comes out. Husker moving across the Jarrett to go set to protect. Primal Roar as well. They're cutting him out. Now the last two on the 33 as well. They're going to move across. The damage from Anyways with the TP. He just does too much. He's going to move in and finish off Husker as well. The buybacks do nothing, and they're going to find PA.
No respect for human life.
DDs, folks. He's got an ultra kill. You want to give him a rampage because he's ready to take one.
I mean, does the rocks count? Because he'll take that too.
What a time to be alive. Runes. Aren't they effective?
Runes. There's my man Bulldog. Yeah, that's just absolutely disgusting. I mean, both supports are dead before you blink an eye.
Runes turns you from gods to buffoons. And now 33 Right, he got himself moving. Tops taking a little bit of damage. He's going to push away. Husker doesn't want to fight right now. The epicenter, it doesn't matter. 33 is hit against his will. The boat coming through. Fada has to sidestep it, which means 33 is pretty deep on the back foot, though. They're going to find a pick off Ace. He went balls against the walls, and he pays the price. 33 seen now. They should be able to run him down. Used to buy a little bit of time trying to move away with the Burrow Strike Blink. Can he get it? Nope. Won't blink from this. They're already on top of you. The last two as well. They found the Husker. Fada will actually be protected by the X. A little bit misplay. But it doesn't matter. Ace is dead. Where the hell is your damage now on the side of NiP? OG, they are looking to finish this. Primal Roar comes out in the Sand King. Moving in. Shallow Grave's going to be there. But Pycat still so unstoppable. The inner fire does disarm him. The disarm return. BKB from Fada going, whoopsie, I should have activated this first of all. The Abyssal's going to be there trying to move away. Shallow Grave's on him. But you're thrown. Your throne cannot have that sort of protection. It's going to be ran down and finished off. Game 1. And OG take it.
I have to say the common thread between the last series that we cast of OGs yesterday and then today, this first game, the item builds of Thompson. You saw what happened him going that Shadowblade Orchid build on the Arc Warden yesterday, and in this game, I mean, he's forced out of lane from 2 or 3 minutes onward in this Kunky. He's farming his own, walking back to Fountain, TPing back to Shrine to farm his own secondary jungle. But because of the stacking bracers, rushing Halberd into BKB build, Kunkka felt so beefy in these fights, using the run buff well from very early on into the game, buying OG just enough time to take the crucial engagements in the mid game. I mean, NiP have to be kicking themselves a little bit after this game. They were in great position to win this. They were in great position to win this one. But like I said, that jungle change and some of the other changes making outer towers a little bit more flimsy means there's that much less leeway on a snowbally lineup like NiP's when they're ahead. One mistake and that enemy team is able to farm up, take multiple objectives, and they're right back in it.
And we saw fantastic displays coming out from OG, the composure, because they identified they could sacrifice those early towers and still bounce back. And I mean, we talked about Pycat. We expect Animage to get ahead. You've already credited Thompson for the item choices, but just the amount of gold that guy found just retreating to the jungle from level 4 was impressive in itself.
Yeah, I mean, Pycat clearly been spamming some AM in his pubs because his farming rotations were brilliant in this game. I just think that NiP is going to watch this replay and they're going to say, if we had been a little bit crisper in our moves, if we hadn't, wasted a minute or so in the dire jungle on a smoke rotation that had basically already been scouted out, that's time that your PA is with you. Their AM is still farming other sides of the map. And it just becomes magnified when you're talking about a team like OG with that much flash farm potential.
Well, I am happy to be able to confirm, for those that are wondering, these are best of threes. Right? I like to say a lot, but I'm happy to say in this state because NiP, they may have lost, but they shoot some great early aggression. Now, the trick is whether they can continue to execute that and just lock down OG. And they would have learned a lot from that series. They're not the type of team that's just going to brush it across, say it was luck. They're going to give credit where credit is due to OG's farming patterns and probably look to either amp up the aggression or maybe take an anti-mage themselves. There's plenty of questions in my mind right now. But all I want to know, and all everyone else wants to know, is when is Game 2? Game 2 should be in a few minutes. We need a short break first. Stay tuned.